Welcome back guys. Apparently we can enable Nvidia's multi-frame generation technique on RTX 20, 30 and 40 series GPUs by using Nukem9 Mod and Nvidia Profile Inspector. In this video, I'll be testing MFFG in 3 games on my Windows PC that has a Ryzen 5600X 3D processor and an RTX 2070 Super GPU, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Spiderman 2 and Hogwarts Legacy. Now I know it's not going to be DLSS frame generation as this technique does not work at all on RTX 20 series GPUs, but whatever it is, it actually helps in improving the in-game smoothness. 3 times and 4 times multiplier mode do feel smoother than the standard 2 times multiplier mode of Nukem9 Mod. Unfortunately, these higher multiplier modes make the existing frame generation related graphical artifacts more aggressive, more noticeable. It's expected, this is not DLSS frame generation after all. Nukem9 Mod simply replaces the in-game DLSS frame generation implementation with FSR frame generation. So all of the FSR frame generation related graphical artifacts will still be present. They'll become more noticeable with the higher multiplier modes. First, I'll be installing Nukem9 Mod in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We'll be using build 0.130 universal version of Nukem9 Mod available for free on Nexus Mods. Just need to have a free Nexus Mods account in order to download any stuff from here. Click on manual download under universal, click on slow download. Open DLL_tbg help folder. Copy the two DLL files, tbg help and DLSS G2 FSR3 AMD is better. We'll be installing the mod in the Steam version of the game. Select the game in your Steam library, right click, manage, click on browse local files. Open SW game folder. Open binaries folder, Win64 folder. Paste the files here. Make sure hardware accelerated GPU scheduling setting is enabled on your PC. Right click anywhere on the desktop, click on display settings, click on graphics, click on advanced graphics settings. Enable hardware accelerated GPU scheduling setting from here. If your monitor supports VRR, enable the setting as well. Now enable VSYNC from Nvidia control panel. Click on manage 3D settings. Click on program settings from this drop down bar. Select Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Scroll down to the end. Enable VSYNC from here. Apply the changes. My monitor is G-Sync compatible. I'll enable the corresponding settings for it. Click on setup G-Sync. Enable the following settings. Enable G-Sync, G-Sync compatible. Enable for full screen mode and enable settings for the selected display model. I'll enable G-Sync compatible indicator. This step is optional. Click on display. Check this setting. G-Sync compatible indicator. G-Sync combined with Nvidia control panel VSYNC and in-game reflex will cap the game's FPS to a value slightly less than our display's max refresh rate value. For example, if our display supports up to 144Hz refresh rate, FPS will get capped at 138. My monitor supports up to 240Hz refresh rate, so the FPS will get capped at 225. Reflex applies an auto FPS cap. It helps in reducing the latency. Jedi Survivor comes with DLSS 3 upscaler. I'll use Nvidia app to override DLSS upscaler to the latest version, DLSS 4 transformer model. Just open Nvidia app, click on graphics here, click on the 3 dots, click on refresh. This list will show all of the games installed on your PC. Look for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, there it is. Now scroll down until you find DLSS override model presets setting. Click on the pencil icon next to it. Check this option, use different settings for each DLSS technology. Click on the drop down bar below super resolution and select latest from here, apply. That's it. I'll be using Afterburner and Steam's performance overlay to show you the performance metrics. Steam's performance overlay can show us the base FPS value along with the FPS with frame generation. Just open Steam, click on Steam here, click on settings, click on in-game, scroll down until you find overlay performance monitor section, show performance monitor, top left, up to you, performance detail level, FPS, CPU, GPU, RAM and full details. Toggles enabled. That's it. Launch the game. In-game settings, resolution full HD. Post-processing settings set to low, rest of the settings set to high. DLSS upscaler enabled using its quality preset. Nvidia frame generation setting, I'll disable it. First, I'll show the base game performance. Post-processing effects disabled. Ray tracing off. Yeah, we are in. I'm on planet Kobo. Here FPS is close to 80. This game still suffers from traversal stutters. Yeah, check out Cal's lightsabers. No ghosting is produced around them. After enabling mod FSR frame generation, ghosting effect will be noticeable. A screen tearing lag effect will also be noticeable around the left and right edges of the display when spinning the camera. 80 to 85 fps. Now I'll enable Nukem9's FSR frame gen. Visuals. Enable Nvidia frame generation. This will enable mod FSR frame generation. Back to the game, yeah, FPS increased to around 130 to 140. Mod is trying to double the performance. We were already hitting the GPU bottleneck, so base FPS will drop after enabling mod FSR frame generation. Check out Steam's performance overlay in the top left corner. Base FPS dropped to around 70. Before enabling frame generation, it was close to 80, 67 to 70 base FPS. Can observe the added amount of smoothness. Just observe the lightsaber. When I move the camera around, there is some ghosting around the lightsaber. See, and when my character is close to the left edge of the display, double images are produced. A screen tearing like effect is present around the left and right edges of the display. These artifacts will become more aggressive when I switch to 3 times or 4 times multiply mode. I'll just apply a 30 fps cap with frame generation on. Use the RTSS. Back to the game. Yeah, frame generation is still enabled. Check out Steam's performance overlay. Base FPS 16, FPS with frame generation 32. I am observing some artifacts around Cal's character model when I spin the camera around, ghosting. I am also observing an increase in latency. Now I'll enable MFFG's 3 times multiply mode. If it's working, the base FPS should drop to around 10. Download the latest version of Nvidia Profile Inspector app from GitHub. I'll give its link in the description. At the time of recording this video, this is the latest version 2.4.0.29. Expand the asset section. Click on the .zip link here. Just need to extract the contents of Profile Inspector archive file. Right click, extract all, extract. This folder will open up. Just run this exe file, Nvidia Profile Inspector. More info, run anyway. Yes. Global profile will load up. It's recommended to change the settings on a per game basis. Click on the drop down bar next to profiles and just search for Star Wars. Jedi Survivor, there it is selected. Now scroll down until you find the common section. There it is. From here you just need to set DLSS FG multi frame generation count to either 3 or 4 times. I'll test 3 times first. Apply changes. That's it. Lost the game. 30 FPS cap is still applied. Don't need to change anything from the in-game settings. Load the exact same sequence. I'm observing a massive increase in latency, more graphical artifacts. Check out the base FPS. It dropped to around 10 FPS with frame generation around 30. If MFFG's 3 times multiply mode was not working, the base FPS should not have dropped down to around 10. It should have stayed close to 15. 2 times multiply mode. Also, I'm not seeing a black screen, so something is working. Now I'll remove this 30 FPS cap. Performance should improve. 0. Back to the game. Yeah, FPS increased to around 180. Can observe the added amount of smoothness. 3 times multiply mode feels smoother than 2 times multiply mode. This is amazing. Latency improved. Slightly higher than that of 2 times multiply mode. Just observe Cal's lightsaber. Yeah, ghosting effect around the lightsaber has become more pronounced, more noticeable. See, double images being produced around the left edge of the display. Screen tearing like effect has become more noticeable around the left and right edges of the display. So all of the graphical artifacts that were present in the case of 2 times multiply mode have become more noticeable in the case of 3 times multiply mode, but the smoothing effect has also improved. Now I'll test 4 times multiply mode. The process is very simple. Just open the game's Nvidia Profile Inspector profile. Click on the drop down bar next to DLSS FG multi frame generation count and set it to 4 times. Apply. Launch the game. First I'll run it with a 30 FPS cap. Base FPS should drop to around 8. We are in. Now just check out the base FPS in Steam's performance overlay. It's 8 FPS with frame generation 32. Yeah, this is the 4 times multiplier mode of MFFG. Only 8 frames are real here. 24 frames are fake. Now just observe my character. Game is running like a slideshow. So many graphical artifacts. It seems 4 times multiplier mode is actually working. This is amazing. Okay, now I'll remove this 30 FPS cap. Frame rate limit set to nil. Back to the game, just staring at the sky to max out the FPS value. Yeah, it's capped at 225. Nvidia reflex is working. FPS is close to 200. This is amazing. Wow, it's so smooth. Smoothing effect is better than that of 2 times multiplier mode, even 3 times multiplier mode. But I'm observing a very ugly screen tearing like effect around the left and right edges of the display. Just observe the lightsaber ghosting effect, more pronounced again. I'm observing some ghosting around Cal's head. See, when I move the camera around quickly. Latency increased, but I'll be honest, it's actually manageable. 3 times multiplier mode offers a good balance between image quality and performance compared to 4 times multiplier mode. You can even use Special K to check the status of DLSS multi-frame generation. I'll quickly do that. You can download Special K from its website. I'll give its link in the description. Click on download here. Run its setup file. More info, run anyway. Next, I accept. Next, install directory. Next, open the app. Go to library section. It will show you all of the games installed on your PC. Select Jedi Survivor Play. We are in. Just open Special Case interface by pressing the hotkey combo Control Shift and Backspace. There it is. Expand on-screen display section. Check this setting. Display OSD, and from here enable DLSS. Frame generation setting checked. I am using the 4 times multiplier mode of MFFG. Just check out Special Case performance overlay in the top left corner. DLSS base resolution, its quality preset FG 4 times. So Special K is also able to detect the 4 times multiplier mode of MFFG. Now I'll test the next game, Hogwarts Legacy. I'll quickly install Nukem9 Mod. Open the mods archive file. Open DLL_version folder. Copy these 2 DLL files. DLSS G2 FSR3 AMD is better in version. Just need to paste them in the games installed directory right next to the game's main exe file. Select the game in your Steam library. Right click, manage, click on browse local files. Open Phoenix folder, binaries folder, Win64 folder. Paste the files here. This game officially supports DLSS for upscaler. Make sure hardware accelerated GPU scheduling setting is enabled. I have enabled VSYNC from Nvidia control panel. Launch the game. In-game settings, resolution Full HD, upscaler DLSS using its quality preset. Just set the sharpness level to nil, otherwise it will affect Nukem9 smoothing effect. Mod FSR frame generation. Frame generation disable for the time being, reflects on, frame rate 360. VSync off. Post-processing effects disable. Post-processing quality set to low. Rest of the settings ultra. Ray tracing off. We are in. I am standing right outside Hogsmeade. Here FPS is within a range of 70 to 80, hitting the GPU bottleneck. Not observing any ghosting around our character model. No double images are produced around the left edge of the display. When our character is close to the left edge, frame generation will cause some ghosting. Okay, I'll just enable 2 times Nukem9 Mod. Just set frame generation to DLSS frame generation 2 times. Back to the game. Here FPS increased to around 130. Can observe the added amount of smoothness. I'm also seeing a screen tearing like effect around the left and right edges of the display. When I spin the camera around. Not observing any ghosting around a character model. Slight increase in latency. Check out the base FPS value in Steam's performance overlay. It's close to 67. I'll just apply a 30 FPS cap with 2 times multiplier mode. Back to the game, base FPS dropped to around 15. Yeah, now I'm observing some artifacts around the character model. Latency increased as well. I'll enable 4 times MFFG mode. Let's see what happens. Open Nvidia Profile Inspect app. Click on the drop down bar next to Profiles. Just type Hogwarts. There it is, Hogwarts Legacy. Scroll down until you find the common section. From here you need to set DLSS FG multi-frame generation count to either 3 times or 4 times. I'll test 4 times. Apply. That's it. 30 FPS cap is still applied. Yeah, we are in. Oh my god, the game is running like a slideshow. Very aggressive graphical artifacts. This was expected using the 4 times multiplier mode. Base FPS dropped to 8. FPS with frame generation 32. Okay, now I'll remove this 30 FPS cap. Open RTSS, just set frame rate limit to 0. 4 times multiplier mode. Back to the game. FPS increased to around 200. This is amazing. Look at that smoothness. Screen tearing like effect around the right and left edges of the display has become more noticeable now when I spin the camera. You can see some lines around the edges of the display. I'm also observing some ghosting around my character model when I spin the camera. See? Base FPS dropped to around 50, so latency will increase, but I'll be honest, latency is manageable. Nvidia Reflex is working. If you want to reduce the graphical artifacts, just drop the multiplier mode to 3 times. If you want to have the best possible image quality, use the 2 times multiplier mode. Now I'll test the next game. I'll quickly install Nukem9 Mod in Spiderman 2. Open the mod's archive file. Open DLL_version folder. Copy the 2 DLL files, DLSS, G2FSR3, AMD is better, and version. Need to paste them in the game's install directory. Select the game in your Steam library, right click, manage, click on browse local files. Paste the files here. This game supports DLSS 4 officially. Don't need to manually update the in-game DLSS upscaler or use Nvidia app. Just make sure hardware accelerated GPU scheduling setting is enabled. This is required for using Nukem9 Mod. I have enabled VSYNC from Nvidia control panel. We are ready to run the game. In-game settings, Full HD resolution, upscaler DLSS using its quality preset, transformer model selected, reflex is on, frame generation, I'll disable it. First show you the base game performance, VSYNC off. Using the medium graphics preset, ray tracing off, post-processing effects disabled. Yeah, there's Spiderman. Check out his character model. It's looking so clean, sharp, no artifacts around the character model. I'll just swing around the city. FPS is close to 80, perfect for using frame generation. 75 to 80, lot of traffic here. VRAM usage is close to 7 GB, not running out of VRAM. Okay, I'll just enable mod frame generation now. Open display settings, set frame generation to DLSS. This will enable mod FSR frame generation. Resume the game. Yeah, FPS increased to around 140, 130 to 140. Base FPS is within a range of 65 to 70, can be seen in Steam's performance overlay. A slight increase in latency, nothing extreme. Can observe the added amount of smoothness. Just observe Spider-Man's shadow. Yeah, it's flickering when we are swinging around the city. Looking very blurry during motion. It's a common FSR frame generation related artifact. Character model, not observing any ghosting around it. Now I'll enable MFFG's 4 times multiplier mode. Run Nvidia Profile Inspect app. Click on the drop down bar next to Profiles and just type Marvel. Look for Spiderman 2, there it is. Scroll down until you find the common section. From here just set DLSS FG multi-frame generation count to 4 times. Whichever multiplier mode you want to use. Apply, that's it. Run the game. Don't need to change any in-game settings. Apply a 30 FPS cap first. Yeah, we are in. Game is running like a slideshow. Observing some ghosting around Spidey's character model. Pace FPS, yeah, it dropped to around 8 FPS with frame generation 32. Again, it seems 4 times multiply mode is working properly. Remove this 30 FPS cap. Frame rate limit set to nil. Back to the game. Yeah, FPS is capped at 225. This means reflex is working. Wow, look at that added amount of smoothness. Okay, I am observing some ghosting around Spidey's character model when I spin the camera. And just observe Spidey's leg. You'll see some double images. Screen tearing like effect can be seen around the left and right edges of the display. Again, if you want to have the best possible image quality, just stick with the 2 times multiply mode. 4 times multiply mode will improve the performance, but it will also increase the latency and graphical artifacts. Base FPS here is close to 50. Again, latency is manageable. Should not be a problem if you are playing the game using a gamepad, but you will observe some latency if you are using a mouse to look around. Observe Spidey's shadow. Yeah, it's flickering aggressively as expected. More aggressively than 2 times multiply mode. So frame generation is definitely working here. I'll be honest, I was not expecting the higher multiply modes of MFFG to actually work on RTX 2070 Super GPU. But they do work and they do not cause any frame pacing issues. They actually help in improving the in-game smoothness. In the end, it's up to you which mode of FSR frame generation mode you want to use. So that's it with the video guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.